Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for today's continuous discussion on Gita Gyan program. So today we're going to discuss on chapter 15th, and today is November 4th. All right. See how fast the time flies. So November and next year December, and that's it. We're going to start back from January all over again. Okay. So anyway, today is a fantastic, super auspicious day. Oh, yeah. Happy to see you too. So, after a long break, we are meeting here again. So that what I was about to tell you, I got distracted. Okay. So, we are meeting after a long break. Then I hope that you all have been relishing Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. And this morning, I had a good session with Myanmar devotees. And it was really fantastic. You know, the devotees there are so fired up. So the same thing here. And I heard that there's a devotees who also committed to distribute books and follow the RDC formula very religiously. Okay. So before we start, anyway, yes, that's the thing. Today is very auspicious day. Today is a continuous prayer on this Damodara Astaka. Okay. I hope all of you have offered a ghee lamp to Lord Damodara and start to relish the blessings. Okay. And also recently we also celebrated this Govardhan Puja. Okay. I hope that all of you have joined the nice. So all of you have joined the nearest ISKCON temple and joined that Govardhan Puja. And I hope that you all have enjoyed mountain of Prasadam. In Ipoh was truly a big mountain of Prasadam. So I hope, Rajalakshmi, I hope that you have really enjoyed the Prasadam. Who else attended Ipoh? All right. So that's the thing. So on this auspicious day, okay, especially in this month of Damodara, to recite Bhagavad Gita, to distribute Bhagavad Gita and to chant Hare Krishna, it is very, very auspicious. Okay. So before we start our program, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Nadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhayo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagaragrama Tarini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachare Starine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Hari Om Tat Sat. So, dear devotees, so happy to meet you again for this very auspicious day. And also coincidentally, we're also discussing on this Bhagavad Gita. So today the chapter that we're going to discuss is chapter 15. So let's let's recap where we started from. So we started from chapter 1, that observing the armies of battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna became despondent. He became heartbroken to see all the family members there are ready to fight. Then in chapter 2, Krishna start to chastise Arjuna, saying how these impurities came upon you. It doesn't fit a person who knows the value of life. Okay. And he said, I mean, so then after that, he started to give, he summarized. Then we went to chapter 3, Karma Yoga. In this Karma Yoga, we learned that Krishna says everyone should engage in some kind of activity, materially and spiritually, and one should not give it up. And whatever result from that activity, you should offer it to Krishna. And chapter 4, we spoke on transcendental knowledge. So this transcendental knowledge is we studied about the spiritual knowledge of the soul. All right. And the God, and of course their relationship. And in chapter 5, we spoke on Karma Yoga. Okay, action in Krishna consciousness, whatever have, here the topic on sacrifice, which we spoke. Sacrifice is very important. So all the sacrifice, we should dovetail to Krishna. Okay, the result of whatever we do, we offer it to Krishna. Chapter 6, we spoke on Dhyana Yoga. And the conclusion, Arjuna says, looks like this kind of Dhyana Yoga is not possible for me. He said, I can even stop the wind from blowing, but I can't stop my mind from thinking. So this meditative way, it's not possible. And Krishna assures, with proper training, proper learning, it can be possible. And chapter 7, we spoke about the confidential part, the knowledge of the absolute. In chapter 8, we spoke on attaining the supreme. And chapter 9, the most important chapter, what they call the most confidential knowledge. And chapter 10, we spoke on the opulence of the absolute. And 11, we saw that Vishwarupa, all right, Krishna's the universal form. Chapter 12, we spoke on devotional service, which is the topmost devotional service. And I also encouraged everybody to read this chapter 12 every day. All right. So make a point to read every day, you know this chapter 12. And chapter 13, we spoke on nature, enjoyer, and the consciousness. Okay. And chapter 14, the three modes of material nature, the goodness, passion, and ignorance. And today we are here on chapter 15. And this chapter, the title is the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Okay, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. And the summary is, the ultimate purpose of Vedic knowledge is to detach oneself from entanglement, right? Entangle. We are all entangled, right? Of the material world, and to understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who understands Krishna as the Supreme Personality, one who understands Krishna's Supreme Identity, surrenders unto him and engage in his devotional service. So with that, let's start our session. Okay. All right. So ISKCON Malaysia, in collaboration with ISKCON Ipoh First Garden Bhakti Yoga Center, proudly to present Gita Gyan, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. So let's take darshan from this Sri Sri Gaura Nitai. This form of Gaura Nitai, when you see on the right is Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and on the left is Nityananda Prabhu. So Krishna always used to wonder, why do people like me? What do I have? He always wondered when the devotees start to express their love to Krishna, Krishna puzzled. Actually, what is in me? So in order to find out, so he came in the form of a devotee. He came in the form of a devotee, and he came in the form of devotee, and he started to experience the ultimate, what they call, the excitement of Bhakti Yoga, Harinama Sankirtan, and chanting of the holy name of the Lord. He came and started to reveal so many confidential part of the Vedas. Okay, and this confidentiality is only can be revealed by the Lord himself, because he's the all-knower, because he's also the compiler of the Vedas. And he took that, the most important, the essence of the Vedas, and start to introduce to us, the people of Kali Yuga. The defect of Kali Yuga is we are all short-lived. We are easily diseased. Okay, and we are very unfortunate. All right. And when you talk about happiness, it is almost scarce. It is almost impossible to be happy here. Okay. So, and the most important, they are always disturbed. So in this kind of agitated situation, for a person to sit and study Gita or sit and study the Shastra, it is almost impossible. Therefore, he came in the form and gave a very sublime method. He said, simply, okay, his instruction is, Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Nasti Gadiranetaha. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can attain the highest perfection. That is Prema Bhakti. Okay. So he came for that and start to distribute. He came in the dancing form. So he came and distribute this Harinam Sankirtan, and he predicted one day every town and village, the name of the Lord will be chanted and people will dance in ecstasy. And look at this most beautiful Sri Radha Krishna. Looks like these deities from Mayapur. Radha Madhava. No, I think from Vrindavan. So beautiful. Yes, and this is Sri Krishna Balaram. So Krishna came in the form of Gauranga, and Balaram came in the form of Nityananda. All right, so today we dedicate our program to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And also this program was inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, GBC and Spiritual Master. And also I would like to dedicate this program to His Grace Anadi Jagannath Prabhu of Bangalore ISKCON Shishadipuram, who is also the creator, who is the creator and the brainchild of the Essence of Gita program worldwide. All right, let's look at today's Gita Mahatmya. This is going to be very interesting Mahatmya. So in this he says, Abhicharot Bhavam Dukkham. Okay. Vara Shapagatan Chayat Na No Pasar Pati Tatraiva Yatra Gitarchanang Grihe. Abhicharot Bhavam Dukkham Varas Shapagata Chayat Na No Pasarpati Tatraiva Yatra Gitarchanam Grihe. So he says is what? He says, the sorrow caused by a terrible curse or black rites, that means black magic, can never enter the home where the Gita is worshipped. Can you see this? All right. In this Gita Mahatmya, he said, the sorrow caused by a terrible curse. We are all cursed. All right. We are somehow or other taking up curses on a daily basis. You know, when we drive, when we enter the road, the fellow start to curse you. All right. And there'll be so much of problem. Okay. And not only that, and everyone, almost everyone, they become the victim of black magic. Okay. And this black magic happens because of jealousy. When a person dies by suicide or by accident, that means the time is not up, the subtle body will be roaming. And the subtle body is looking for a place to stay or reside. While they are roaming around looking for shelter, they will get caught by this black magician. Okay, they call tantras. So The black magics, the magicians, they will capture this subtle body, and with the power of mantra, they will put it into a jar or bottle, and they tie it and they leave it there like that. So the subtle body will go through a severe suffering. All right, it goes through a severe suffering. All right, because they only don't have the gross body to enjoy, but the subtle body still have that desire for food, eat. I mean, they still have that the sense of hunger, the pangs of hunger, thirst, and claustrophobic. They're tied into a small place, frustrated, they cannot move. Because the soul is active, it cannot stay in one place, right? So in that, the subtle body gets stuck inside there for many days, or maybe months or years, until one day the subtle body become extremely angry and become extremely what they call frustrated. And that time the black magician will take it out and will make a deal with it. They says, now I allow you to go out and I allow you to enter into anybody's body, right? But the deal is, you have to help me. What you need to do, I cast you upon someone and I want you to go there and destroy their life. Okay, so that is why sometimes when they do the black magic, right, they send off this kind of subtle body, the subtle forms, the form of a ghost. They enter into every house. See, the ghost is very inauspicious thing. When any inauspicious things enter a place, the place become inauspicious, and it goes in. All right, it goes and stays and stick and sit on their head and start to create a lot of trouble. And in between, it enters the body and it start to eat and study. And so these kind of things will happen. The house will be haunted. There'll be some demonic powers, and all these things will be sitting in the house and start to torture the family. And when that thing happens, the family will be in great sorrow, so frustrated. Okay, sometimes they go and get the thing done, to get rid of all these things. They look for another bomo and try to so it is never ending suffering. Okay, so the reason for the black magic is to destroy a person. But in this verse, in Mahatmya Krishna, in this verse it says, the sorrow caused by the terrible curse. Sometimes when there's a curse, when there's a forefather will curse, it is they call Pitur Sabam, right? The curse of the forefather. When we are not providing them with pinda and all these, they also will curse. All right. So all these curses causes sorrow, and the black magic also causes so much of suffering and misery. But when a person worship the Bhagavad Gita, okay, in that any home, the home that they worship Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, that home will never experience this kind of sorrow. And in fact, if there's any black magic cast upon a person or upon someone, if there's any curses, when we simply take a Bhagavad Gita, keep it with us, and we start to read it, how you worship Bhagavad Gita? By reading it. All right? By reading it, by studying Bhagavad Gita is the way to worship Bhagavad Gita. When we start to worship Bhagavad Gita, all this kind of suffering, dukkam, abhicharut bhavam dukkam, all right, it is never enter. If there is a thing that lives in your house, the thing will run away by itself. Because Bhagavad Gita is Krishna himself. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. The ink of the book, the thing is written is in the black ink, and the paper is white. So that means there's a presence of Radha Krishna present in that book. And we must have strong faith in that. When we have that strong faith, nothing in this three world can come and disturb you. All right. That's what I'm telling. Take your Gita wherever you go. Like the day, I think Dasarathan was mentioning, he takes his Gita wherever he goes. All right. And Krishna Rubini and Sarinta Kaur, everyone is just carrying, they never leave their house without Bhagavad Gita. You must carry your Gita wherever you go. Wherever you go, carry the Gita. Keep the Gita handy. Keep it in your handbag. Keep it in your what do you call? In your in your glove box, in your car glove box, right? So whenever you're stuck in the jam, take it out and just read one verse or two verse and start reflect on it. So the Gita can be the greatest protection. It protects you from all. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. If Krishna wants to save you, nothing in this three world. I hope you understand what this three world means. The upper planetary system, the lower planetary system, and middle, the gross planetary system. And any of these, nothing in this three world can even pluck a hair from your head. Nothing can touch you. And we must have that strong faith in that. All right? This is not imaginary. I have seen with my own eyes. All right? The house which is terrible. In fact, I also once a terrible victim of black magic when I was having a business. I was having a business which is $1 million business, multi-million-dollar business. And they cast upon me. And until today, sometimes people are wondering how that this guy is still going around, moving around. Right? Because nothing can touch you. That is the power of Bhagavad Gita. So we must always keep the Bhagavad Gita with us. We must always recite the Bhagavad Gita. Whenever we deceive. So even you're going for a conference, take your Gita with you. See, sometimes I used to do this talk, self-development talk and all these. So wherever I go, I'll keep the Gita on the desk. And people will be wondering what I've kept. Right? So before I want to say something, I'll just hold the Gita. I just sit with your blessings. I'm going to speak. All right? Things will just become perfect. All right? So that is the reflection for today. Okay? So if you think any one of your family members, anyone around you are suffering from this kind of great curse or any black magic, the victim of black magic, if you think the house is haunted or whatever it is, keep the Gita, recite the Gita, and start to have faith in that book. Right? Everything will be purified. So let's look at understanding of the Gita. The destination is called Sanatana sky. Do you remember what is Sanatana sky? Or the eternal spiritual sky? Any one of you remember that we discussed? Anyone? Uh-oh. Don't tell me you've forgotten. Uh-oh. This is not good. Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu?
Yeah, spiritual sky, bro.
Spiritual sky. And what is that, Prabhu? What is the spiritual sky? What is in that area?
The Vaikunthas.
Exactly. Wow. Thank God. Okay. How many of you remembers that now? Maybe just when I asked you, you might have been confused. But now, how many of you remember that? You can put a thumbs up. No one remembers that. Oh, Krishna. Please remember that. Because that's going to be your home soon. You must know where you're going to go. You must know where you're going to reside. You are all going to reside in that spiritual sky. If you don't know what is spiritual sky, alama, you've forgotten your address. All right. So that destination is called Sanatan sky or the eternal. Sanatan means eternal, or we call it spiritual sky. Yat gatva na nivartante tad dama paramang mama. In this material world, we find that everything is temporary. It comes into being, stays for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindle, and then vanishes. What does that mean? Right? It comes into being, the person comes into being, stay for some time. Maybe if he lives up to what, 100 years means it's roughly 36,500 days. Nothing, not so long, right? So he stays some time. And while he's living, he produces some byproducts. He creates some byproducts. Then after that, he become old. He start to dwindle, right? The body become weak and everything. And after that, he vanishes. That is the law of the material nature. Whether we use as an example, this body or a piece of fruit or anything. But beyond this temporary world, there is another world which we have information. The world consists of another nature, which is Sanatan or eternal. The Jiva also described as Sanatana. That means Jiva means who? Who is Jiva? You can even send me a message.
Soul.
Yes. Jiva means you, we. All right. Jiva means you and I. We are the spirit soul. So the Jiva is also described as Sanatan. So Rajalakshmi, you are eternal. Okay. You are eternal. So that means like you and everyone here are eternal. Okay. And the Lord is also described as Sanatan in the 11th chapter. We have an intimate relationship. Now let's look at this. This is the word that I want to highlight. But let me see. Get me the highlighter. Okay. So it says, we have now we have an intimate relationship with the Lord. That means we have an intimate relationship with the Lord. Lord is not a stranger. Lord is not something that you have to look upon. Okay, we have an intimate relationship. Dasarathan, you understand Dasarathan?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So now, do you have fear? Do you have fear looking at Krishna?
No, Prabhu, no.
Of course, you have an intimate relationship. You have a very close, loving, intimate relationship with the Lord. So we do not need to fear Lord. All right. So we have an intimate relationship. Example like what in Damodara Leela, right? Even a devotee mother can take and tie the Krishna. Can you imagine? He allows them to tie. And Mother Yasoda and the gopis doesn't even know that Krishna is God. Right? Because they have such an intimate relationship. So therefore, we also have that intimate relationship with the Lord. Because we are all qualitatively one. You, I, and Krishna all are qualitative. By quality, we are same. All right? So the Sanatan Dharma or the sky of the Sanatan Supreme Personality and the Sanatana living entities. Okay? The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita, that means now, the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatan occupation. Okay? But before that, when we are qualitatively one, remember, we are also not Krishna because quantitatively, we are only minute. We are just a drop. Okay? So now, the whole purpose, the entire purpose of Bhagavad Gita, what is the purpose of studying Bhagavad Gita? Is to revive our eternal occupation. What we were doing before in Goloka Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha Loka, what were we doing to revive that? That means formerly we were doing it and now we are in forgetfulness. So Bhagavad Gita will revive it. So that's called occupation. And this occupation is called as Sanatana Dharma. Okay, Sanatana Dharma, which is the eternal occupation of the living entity. We are temporarily engaged in different activities, actually. All right. So when you see a look at a doctor, how long the doctor can go on perform surgery? Okay. He can only perform surgery until his hand doesn't shiver. When the hand starts shivering, finish. Right. So we are only temporarily engaged in or any kind of job. Okay. Even if you are in the military, you are such a great sniper or whatever it is. By the age of 40, you are forced to resign. You have to forced to retire. Because after 40, it's considered you're old. Okay. You cannot do this kind of Herculean task. Go into the jungle and this thing. No, it's not possible. So 40 is a retirement age. 40 to 45, you have to retire in army. Like that, even in any of your government service, 55. But now they have increased to 60. Okay. So eventually everybody will retire from their active job, active duty. So that means we are only temporarily engaged in different activities. But all these activities can be purified. So even though that in these the temporary activities we are performing, these activities can be purified. All right. When we give up all these temporary activities and take to the activities which is prescribed by the Supreme Lord. And that is called pure life. So when we give up all our activities, give up all the activities means what? Temporary activity means what? Are you going to stop as being a doctor? Are you going to give up as being a teacher? No. Give up the result. All right. And also which are prescribed by the Supreme Lord. If you see all the jobs that you are doing, it is not by default. It is not that you are super intelligent, suddenly then you become a doctor. Right? It's not that you are very good in speaking, you become a teacher. It's not by default. I couldn't get a job. So therefore, during my time, those who couldn't get university, they simply will take the course called social science. Okay. Just to get a degree, they simply go and sign up for social science. It is just like, you just have something behind you, BA, honors or something like that. All right. So, but the job that we get in and the job that we stick on, it is something which is called prescribed. The Lord has prescribed this job to you and you are simply performing it. All right. So when we dovetail everything to Krishna, we call this as the pure life. Okay. So with that reflection, let's start our session. Chapter 15, the yoga of the Supreme Person. So this chapter, I will take my time to explain. If you are confused, stop me immediately. Okay, because this is philosophically explained. So I'll try to explain to my best of my knowledge. So if you're confused, please don't hesitate. Immediately ask question. Okay, don't study. Okay, now let's look at 15.1. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Urdhva Mula Ada Shakam Ashvatang Prahur Avyayam Chandang Siyasya Parnani Yastang Veda Savedavid. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree. Right? The banyan tree is huge tree. Okay? The tree will have the root on top. Do you know what is banyan tree? Who doesn't know what is banyan tree? Anyone doesn't know what is banyan tree? In Tamil, we call alamaram. Right? The banyan tree is very easy to grow, especially in Malaysia. The tree will grow. It will create a branch, and the root will come from the branch. Okay. So the root, that means it goes the branch, and the root from there, it will come down. Sometimes people used to hold the root and, they used to like swing. The old days swing. So the root will come from top and will hit the ground. And after that, it will all become hardened. It turn into a trunk. Then from there, it goes further. That means the branch will go further, and there's another root will come from the tree. It will come and hit the root. All right, it hit the root and it become hardened. So the banyan tree can create a huge forest. So the main trunk, and after that, it has so many branches and sub branches, and from the branches, it creates more and more roots. Okay, is it okay for everyone?
Yes.
Say something. Okay. All right, good. Okay, good. So that means that's a banyan tree. So Krishna says, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree. Imperishable banyan tree means it has keep rooting and rooting and rooting and rooting. It is, there's a place in India, 15 acres, 15 or 20 acres of land. There's only one banyan tree. From there, it rooted and rooted. It spread and it turned into like a forest. Okay. So there is imperishable. So the banyan tree which cannot be destroyed, imperishable. Okay. That has its roots upwards. It has the root upwards and its branches down. Okay. And whose leaves are Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is a knower of the Vedas. Okay. So that means there's a tree which is upside down. Root upwards and its branches downwards. That means, in other words, if you see there's a banyan tree here, can you see? And down there, you see a banyan tree shadow. So it has the root here, all right, and the branches downwards. Okay, and he says those who understand this banyan tree is the understander, is knower of the Vedas. So when you look at this imperishable banyan tree, okay, number one, all right, the leaves. The leaf of the tree is called the Vedic hymns. All the leaves are Vedic hymns. All right. So what is that hymns? What is that all the Vedic hymns? It is all rooted to the fruitive activities. that is why in Vedas, formerly when Vedas was written, the 4 Vedas, okay, after Vyasadeva compiled the 4 Vedas, he was not happy. He thought, I have already divided the Vedas into 4, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. And I gave it to my disciples, and they are ever expanding it. Okay. Then I wrote Mahabharat. All right. I wrote Mahabharat. Then after that, what happened? The Vedas are so vast, huge. Okay. So I gave a commentary. I gave a commentary about that Vedas. The Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva, we don't have a lifetime to study. So what did Vyasadeva? He compiled, he went and gave a commentary, means he summarized the entire Vedas. And that summary we call it as what they call Vedanta Sutra. Are you all following me?
Yes, Prabhu.
All right, great. So he compiled it, he summarized it. So you see that you just need to read the summary, is considered you have understood the entire Vedas. After he wrote that summary, the Vedanta Sutra, something was hitting in his heart. He said, why I'm not feeling happy? Right? What is there something that's missing in what I've done? I think I've done a good job. Right? The Vedas, which is orally spoken, I document it so the people in Kali Yuga can refer to that. Then, for person who don't have that access to Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva, and all these kind of things, I make it a summary. And that summary I call Vedanta Sutra. And I think I did a good job. So, what is that missing? Why am I not happy? And that's when Narada Muni comes. Narada Muni is actually the spiritual master of Vyasadeva. So Narada Muni says, dear Vyasa, why you look so despondent? Why you look so upset? Is there anything wrong? He said, my dear Guru Maharaj, I document all the 4 Vedas. I document the Vedas. Then I realized it's big, so I divided it into 4. And I gave it to my able disciple. And they are expanding it. They are ever expanding it. Then I know, like some people will never have access, so I give a summary, Vedanta Sutra. After doing all this, and I have also compiled Mahabharat, but still, I'm not feeling happy. Something is missing. So, what is that? That's what I'm wondering. And that's when Vyasadeva will say, well, you have compiled everything, but you never went to the root of the Vedas. The purpose behind the Vedas, you have not gone to that. All right? Because you are still speaking on Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That means you are telling, the Vedic literature, it is dovetail to material desire. Okay? You do whatever you want. Okay? According to your Dharma, Artha, Kama. Okay? End of the day, you attain Moksha. That is not the purpose of life. So you still haven't gone to that purpose yet. So this imperishable banyan tree, all the Vedic leaves, hymns, and everything, all the root is to bound by fruitive activities. That is why you see there's so many kind of rituals out there. Oh, you're having that problem, you do this ritual. You are having that problem, this problem, you do. You want to achieve this thing, you do that ritual. Okay? You want to go to heavenly kingdom, this one particular ritual you have to do. You want to achieve, you don't have a child, you want to do this thing, you want to have a child, you do this kind of ritual. I forgot the name. They used to do in Adi Jagannath temple in South India. There's a Putra something, all right. So you do that ritual. So like that, there are millions of rituals. So all the rituals are dovetailed to, bound to fruitive activities. Now, so the fruits is the result of the activities. That's a branch. The twigs, the fruit of this tree is the result of the activities. Okay. The twigs is the sense object. And the branches, you see all the branches here are nourished by 3 modes of material nature. That is the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So again, this entire banyan tree, which is imperishable, That means can never be destroyed because it has been deep rooted, because it's been living for millions and trillions of years from the day that we fell from the spiritual sky. All right. The seed that fell from the spiritual sky. Right. One round of Brahma is how many years? Okay. I think 163 trillion years. That day we did a calculation. Right. And there's only a day. At night is different. Like that we have went through hundreds and hundreds of, that Lord Brahma lives for 100 years. And we have passed through millions of Brahmas. Imagine how long that we have been stuck in this material world. Think about it. How long we have been stuck in this material world. We have stuck in this place for eternity. So all these things are deep rooted. That's why we call it imperishable. Can never be destroyed. Right? So the leaves are the Vedic hymns. All that sense gratification, you do certain things, you just all these things. Okay. Then the branches are nourished by the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Right? So through that activity, you start to have the fruit. No, the tree will have a fruit. And what is the fruit? The result of the activities. What do? You get the result. Right? And the small twigs which is coming out, it's also looking for sense object. And all these things are deep rooted to fruitive activities. Okay? Everyone okay? Are you following me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Now, that's okay, great. Now, see, like for instance, as a tree is nourished by the water, so the tree, as the tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Okay? Right? Three modes of material. Sometimes you find that a tract of land is barren. Okay, you see the tract of land is barren because of want of sufficient water. Because there's not enough water, the place becomes barren. And sometimes the tract is very green. Very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionally greater in quality, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. That means, in other words, there's a land. One land, it is barren. Another land is flourished. All right? It's very green. So what is the difference? Here, insufficient water. Here, abundance of water. Okay? So, that's why it's mentioned, Krishna says, that is okay. Similarly, where the particular mode of material nature, that means this particular mode of nature here is not enough water, and here abundance of water, and the things will act accordingly. Okay. Similarly, the different species of life are manifested accordingly to the modes of nature. All right. Example, you see a dog in Malaysia will have a little fur. All right. At the same time, you see the dog in the North Pole, it has a thick fur. Okay. Both are dogs. But according to the material nature, there it has a thicker fur. So the fur can withstand the what they call the cold. Even human being. If you look at the Asians who are living in this kind of tropical climate, they'll have a thin skin upper layer. But at the same time, when you look at the people who are coming from a cold country, they have a thicker skin. Right? Because they can withhold the cold weather. When they come to this country, they can't take it. When we go to that country, we can't take it. All right? But what happened? If I go, say, like as I said, my uncle from Malaysia went to New Zealand, England. It was very cold country. And one in New Zealand is even colder. Okay. So what happened? He went there, initially he suffered. But eventually the body got used to it. Okay. Then now, after he come back to Malaysia, after so long he's been living there, he comes back to Malaysia. He's very fair. My uncle is very fair. He come back to Malaysia. He cannot tolerate Malaysian weather. And he turned pinkish. My uncle is tall, bald-headed. All right. And imagine if he turned pinkish. He looked like a Pink Panther. So sometimes when you see these people come back, when the Westerners come to this country, they look so pinkish. Right? They couldn't tolerate the weather. But if at all they stay here, the body will somehow or other disease. So that means all the different species of life are manifested according to that three modes of material nature. So now in verse 3 and 4, what Krishna says, Na rupam ashe, na rupa ashesha tato palabhyat, na rupa ashesha tato palabhyate, nanto na chadir na cha sampratista, ashvattam enam suviruda moolam, asanga shastrena dirdena chitva, na rupam asyeha tato palabhyate, nanto na chadir na cha sampratista, ashvattam ena suviruda moolam, asanga shastrena dirdena chitva, tata padang tat parimargitavyam, yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuyah, tam eva chadyang purusham prapatye, yata pravirtis prashista purani. So what Krishna says in verse 3 and 4, the real form of these three, okay, the real form of these three cannot be perceived in this world. The real form of these three cannot be perceived, cannot be understood. All right? But in this world, no one can understand where it ends. No one knows where it ends and where it begins, or where its foundation is, where it's standing. Nobody can know. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree. Okay? So the key point is determination. Okay? In life, everything we need to have determination. If you want to marry a loved one, if your parents say no, you have to be very determined. No, I will marry that person. If you want to get a job and you think, and they say that you are not qualified, you have to be very determined to eventually get that job. Any achievement that you want to do, even you want to pass your SPM, STPM, or you want to go into college, or certain subject that you would like to do, you must have that determination. So similarly here, Krishna says, but with determination. And what determination is this? That I want to put a full stop to this existence. All right? And this is the time. And now, this at this very moment, because now all this while I've been living in ignorance, but now I'm enlightened. So that means I have to have the determination. So now with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree. He has to cut down the strongly rooted tree with what weapon? The weapon of detachment. So attachment is the cause of all problem. Attachment is the mother of all misery. My house, my country, my children, my education, my money, my grandchildren. Example that day we saw, right? The guy, old man, he committed suicide. Why? Because my grandchildren are not visiting me. So attachment is the mother of all suffering. So what Krishna says here, you must have the determination to detach. How? Through that power of knowledge that we are studying in Bhagavad Gita. That number one, we are not this body. And who am I? I am a spirit soul. So you are a spirit soul. How big are you? I am super duper minute. I take a the tip of my hair and I divide it into 10,000 pieces. That is the size of me. You know, I'm invisible. And at the same time, I'm invincible. I cannot be seen. At the same time, I cannot be destroyed. At the same time, I am part and parcel of Krishna. At the same time, I have the same quality of Krishna. That means I am so minute and yet I am so powerful. Right? So I am part and parcel of Krishna. Okay? He's, what they call, he has that, what they call, by quality, I have the quality of the Lord. But at the same time, I'm so minute. All right? In this minute form, which cannot be seen even by the naked eyes, You can see the smallest thing in the universe through a fantastic microscope, but you can never see the soul in any kind of microscope because it's that tiny. So in this, as being me, as living, came to this world is in a very tiny form. So what am I got to demand in this world? What is my demand? Okay, I am not this body, but I am that tiny thing, the spirit soul, that all pervading. All right. And what is my mission in life? Is not to go through this kind of birth, death, old age, and disease. Simply go and move around, and not just like a merry-go-round, right? Just like a Ferris wheel. Now I'm in a higher birth, then after that I come to the lower birth, and from there I come back to the higher birth and come back to the lower birth, and going around and around and around and around and around. All right? I've been infused with this mind that is forgetful. If only if you can remember even your past life, you will be in dilemma. Right? Imagine. So that means attachment. So all these attachments, things that we have, it is bodily concept of life. As long I have this body, the body of an Indian, all right, in a male body, living in Ipoh, living in this particular place, and I born into this particular family, and therefore I have this particular mother. And of course, then I had a wife, okay, through this bodily relationship, that is, she's my wife. And through the combination of these two bodies, I've got 4 offspring. And that offspring also still bodily concept. Right? If I go and fetch my daughter from school, my attention is only on my daughter. She'll be running. Appa. But at the same time, I am not attached. My mind is not attached to any other girls there in the school. After school, all are waiting for the parents to fetch. My only attachment is to my daughter because that body is attached to this body. The offspring of this body is that body. But her friends or any other people, I'm not attracted to that. Okay? I can show unconditioned love to the offspring of this body. Right? The way I love my daughter, I cannot give that kind of affection to another child who is not my offspring. There will be some love. Yes, baby, kuchi kuchi, all that, yes. But the relationship is totally different. All right? Why? Because all this kind of attachment. The attachment. Once upon a time, this house doesn't belong to me. I pass through, I look at the house, doesn't make any difference. But after I purchased this house is mine. So I became attached to that house. So the attachment, I am this, I am that. Right? I am a man, I am this, I'm a Malaysian. This is my house, this is my hospital, this is my job, this is my pride. So all these things are, the attachment will make you stuck in this world forever. So Krishna says that you should cut away, right, through the weapon of detachment. That is the weapon. And how are you going to create that weapon of detachment? If you simply follow the RDC formula. When you simply read, you simply chant and distribute the books, you will have that kind of feeling in your heart. It is not artificially taken. Because as what we have studied in chapter 14 or 13, what Krishna said, I will impart the knowledge upon you. So that means when we are sincere, Krishna will give you the knowledge and on how you can go to him. All right. So now, even for the sake of happiness and peace of mind, detachment is actually good. Being detached is not necessary that you are irresponsible. Okay, there's a girl used to come to my Namahat center. She was telling me a story. All right, one of her best friend, a classmate, committed suicide because of attachment. Because the boyfriend cheated on her, she couldn't take it. She's so attached to the boyfriend, so attached, and the boyfriend say no, she go and kill herself. So attachment is dangerous. So with determination, one must cut down the strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which. So that means thereafter one must seek that place. That means you have to look for a place from which, once you're gone, having gone, one never return. Once you go to that place, you will come back to your original form, not a tiny, minute, the thing that cannot be seen. You go back to your original form and you will never return. All right? One never returns. And there, surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All right? Surrender. Surrender to the Supreme, from whom everything began. The Supreme Person of Godhead, from whom everything began. And from whom everything is extended since time immemorial. Any questions? You got it? Okay?
Okay,
Hello?
Prabhu.
All right. So now, how to cut down the strongly rooted tree? Wow. All right. By the weapon of detachment. Get that weapon of detachment. And this weapon of detachment is not created artificially. And that weapon of detachment, the weapon is the knowledge, the Gyan. All right. By learning the knowledge, it's no big deal. Anybody can learn. But to internalize, to make you aware and everything, you have to do it if you engage in devotional service by chanting Hare Krishna. Okay. Now, okay, like this. Aham sarvasva prabhavo. Aham sarvasva prabhavo. What Krishna says here, I am the origin of everything. Therefore, to get out of this entanglement, what this entanglement means, what? It is just like a spider web. Of this strong banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extension. Okay, now let's look at this. This banyan tree, okay, the branches will go and from here create another root, and these will become strong rooted. Okay, and from here this thing will go and create another strong rooted, and like this it goes, it creates another strong roots. Like this you go, it creates another strong root, and it's going on and on and on and on and on. It's keep creating all the strong roots, deep rooted and everything. So until you may not know where is this origin of this, all right, of this banyan tree. All right, you may not know where's the origin. So now let me show you something. We are actually living in this environment which is dark. Okay, this is the environment that we are living. Okay, so we are living in the darkness of ignorance, and in this place, imagine we are okay. Okay. We are entangled. So our situation here is extremely complicated. So due to our association from time immemorial, we are going around creating relationship and creating karma Sanchari karma, prarabdha karma, kutta karma. So like that, we are just going and 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 so we are stuck in this very, very terribly complicated zone. So how are we going to come out of this? Where we have started, we don't know. And we are totally entangled. So in this entanglement, how are you going to cut down that entanglement to release yourself? Even this place is extremely dark. In this dark place, we are stuck in the web. Okay? In the web of attachment. So we are so stuck. Sometimes sometimes we also say, right? Okay, now like a few days ago, someone said she wants to resign from a government service and want to go to the private service. Right? She don't dare to take the risk. Why? She's so attached to the government service. She's getting good income. All right. She's afraid if she go to the private service, she may not get the thing. So that means she became like overwhelmed. She couldn't make a decision. She couldn't make a decision to give up that and to go there. And she's become like helpless. Right? And sometimes you have seen, right, a man with many children. Okay. They are so helpless. He's so helpless. He don't know what to do. Like that, we are stuck in this great web of horrible attachment. Are you all following me on this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So now it's already 8:39. Shall we take a short break? Do you have any questions? Think about a question. And once we are done, then after a short break, we will continue with our discussion. Okay? Shall we take a short? All right, let's continue our discussion. Okay, now, so aham pravas, that means I am the origin of everything. Krishna says, therefore, to get out of this entanglement, okay, this entanglement of this banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. That is the only solution. That means when we surrender to Krishna, so we can get rid of all that kind of entanglement. As soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically. All right. Maybe some of you wondering, hey, how am I supposed to detach? How am I supposed to do it? No worries. So Krishna says here that one becomes detached automatically from this material extension. The extending, as I said, the trees keep extending. You can be automatically detached. All right. So detachment from material world. And once you become detached from material world, you will be attached to spiritual world. All right. So now, so let's look at understanding the source. Yet one has to find out the cause. I am the son of my father. My father is a son of such and such a person. By searching in this way, one comes to Brahma. Example, say when you look at that, what they call the family tree, we put it upside down. So today it's me and my wife and my children. Okay, my wife and me and my father. And who's my father? My grandfather. Who's my grandfather? Like that, when you go on and on and on and then find out like this, you look at this tree here. When you look up, when you go, ultimately you found that Lord Brahma is your, okay, come to the level of Brahma. Okay, now, so by searching in this way, one comes to Brahma, who is generated by Garbho Dakshai Vishnu. Do you all remember Garbho Dakshai Vishnu? Yes, Chaitanya, Daya Prabhu?
Yeah, from the sources of the universe come up as bubble.
No, who's Garbho Dakshai? The one who lives in the bubble or the one who creates the bubble?
Great.
No, not create the bubble. Create the bubble is Karna Dakshai.
Maha. Yeah.
This is Garbho Dakshai means the one who lives in that bubble. the bottom of the bubble, from the navel, the lotus sprout, and of that, what they call? Brahma born. Okay? I hope you all remember that.
Yes, yes.
So that means, okay, that means one comes to Brahma, who is generated by Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So that means Brahma was created by Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Finally, in this way, that means you are going back. Okay? When one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that means, okay, now I am looking for my forefather. So it says, I come to Brahma. And from who created Brahma, I go down, I see Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is there. And from where the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu came, it's the bubble. And who caused the bubble? Karnadakshaya Vishnu. Then from there, I go up. Okay, then from where Karnadakshaya Vishnu appeared? Right? From Narayana. Then from where he came? So Aniruddha, Pradyumna, this thing. Then you go back, Balaram. And after the Balaram, the source of the creation is Krishna. That means you go back way. So that means, finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work. One has to search out the origin of the tree, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. True. How? The association of person who are in knowledge. So that means how you can do it through the person, by associating with the person who are in knowledge of that Supreme Personality of Godhead, like spiritual master, like great pure devotees. When you associate with them, you can easily find the source. But then by understanding, one becomes gradually, look at this, by understanding this alone, one becomes gradually, that means slowly but surely, detached from this false reflection. Just now you saw, right? There's a tree by the riverside, the tree, and down there, the tree which is upside down is only a reflection. So that is that false reflection of reality. And again, by knowledge, okay, true knowledge, one can cut off the connection. That means you can cut off the tree and actually become situated in the real tree. That means you cut the tree of illusion, you live in the real tree. Are you all following me on this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Now, so, okay, now look at 15.7. 15.7. Okay, now what Krishna says. Mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasastanindriyani prakriti stani karshati. Prakriti means nature. The living entities in this conditioned world. Okay, this conditioned world means what? That means this world is conditioned by threefold of misery. That means, and what they call three kind of material condition, like goodness, passion, ignorance. And of course, threefold of misery, the suffering that comes through the mind, the suffering that comes through that nature, and also by the nature and everything. So there's a suffering. So that means we are somehow or other conditioned. Okay. So the living entity in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental part, Krishna says. So the living entities means he's referring to all living entities, from cockroach to the ants to the rat to human being. What Krishna says are my eternal fragmental part. Eternal fragmental part. And due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard. And now he referred to human being. So due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with 6 senses, which includes the mind. So they are suffering with these 6 senses, including the mind. Okay. Why? Because we have the indriyas. We have the senses that are conditioned. The eyes are conditioned to see beautiful things. The ears are conditioned to listen some music, some beautiful things. The nose are conditioned to some good smell. The hand, the touch are conditioned to some nice things. And the tongue is conditioned to eat some palatable food or to speak. All right? To show the superiority by speaking or oratory skill. So that means all these indriyas are somehow or other getting attached to a lot of things. The eyes, the sense with the sense object. All right. So when the eye says, I want to see something nice, the ear says, I want to listen to some music. Okay, there's some what? Okay, like gossip. Okay, all right, the gossip. So they say the mind, the Indias will be attached, they'll be attracted. Okay, the hand, the sense of the tongue. People, like as I said, people are willing to travel from Singapore, and some even willing to fly in Ipoh, Singapore, Ipoh, JB. There's a connected flight. They are willing to fly in just to eat some tauge, something, all right, some kind of local food. They are willing to spend so much of money just to eat, right, to indulge. So that means all the senses are attached to sense object. So when the senses, just like a child, when you are taking your child to a supermarket or to the shopping center, suddenly you pass through, you see there's a Toys R Us kit, there's an outlet selling all toys, all right, or Barbie doll. Suddenly your child says, Daddy, look, I want that Barbie doll. And what happened? You're holding, but the child is running towards the toys. All right? You are trying to control, but the child is so adamant, I want that toy. And somehow or other you get pulled through. And the child simply take it and you buy it. So like that, when all the things are pulling through, the mind is get pulled. So now the senses are representing the horse. Even how strong rein, that rope that you hold the horse, we call rein. Even how hard the rein, or even the rein is made of metal, you can never stop the horse from pulling you, because it's a horse. It is a powerful animal that runs very fast. So when all your senses are pulled very strongly, just like the horse, in split second, your ears are pulled there. Your split second, your eyes are pulled there. In the split second, your tongue is pulled there. Right? So everything getting pulled so hard. And imagine how long the mind can hold. The mind will somehow or other will give in. Will give in with the agitation of the senses. So when the mind tried to pull in, so what happened? The mind will tell the buddhi, come on la, no point holding me tight. The horses are very strong. Just follow. All right? And the buddhi will start to create some reasoning. The intelligence start to create some reasoning and make the mind, and everything goes haywire. And at last, the consciousness or Atma, the soul, that you go, just like the horse runs and eventually fall into a ditch. Just imagine the horse is running, they're running so hard, and there's a mountain cliff, and they run, the horse cannot break. Run, pew, fall down, gone, everything's gone. All right. So that means due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard. They are struggling to control these wild horses. That is including the mind. Okay. 8 to 9. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Shariram means body. Shariram yat avapnoti yat chapi kramati shvara gritti vaitani sangyati vayur gandan ivashayat strotrang chakshus parshanam cha rasanam granam evacha adistaya manaschayam visayan upasevate. The living entity in this material world carries his different conception of life. Okay, just mark this one. The living entity in this material world, all the living entities, carries his different concept of life, different conception, understanding of the life, from one body to another. So that means now I have got a human body of a human. It's just like a shell. So now I born as a human, I have the conception of a human being. So once I take the form of a dog, I'll start to have the conception of a dog life. So once I've taken the form of a pig, I will have the conception of pig life. All right. So that means the conception changes according to one body to another. Example, like as the air carries aroma. So that means when you're standing near a tree, right, a very fragrant tree, when like Pavalamali, like what they call in English, there's a crying widow or something like that. There's a tree. It creates so much of good fragrance at night. So when the wind blows, when I am standing near the tree, I have a nicer smell. All right, I get the pure smell. And if the person was standing 10 meters away from me, he also get the smell, but that smell can be mixed with someone cooking in front, someone cooking at the back. All right, that fragrance will come with the fragrance of someone cooking in between and mix, and he gets it. And after that, it goes further down. Maybe the guy was standing over 100 meters away. Maybe he's getting the smell, the fragrance, that this fragrance mixed with the cooking fragrance and mixed with some stool on the road, on the street, all the smell and everything mixed, is getting it. So the aroma is same, but as the aroma travels, it gets changing according to that situation. You all following me on this? Just like the air carries aroma. Thus, it takes one kind of body and again quits, it take another. So it swiftly happened. That means he takes one kind of body. Then after that, according to the environment, he takes another kind of body. And according to the desire, he takes another kind of body. And according to the attachment, he takes another kind of body. And he just simply go again and again and again, take again and quits it and take another one. It's just going on, never ending. The living entity thus takes another gross body. All right. Thus, the living entity takes another gross body. Obtain a certain types of fear. So it depends. So in every gross body, there's a different types of setup. In a human body, I walk on two legs. Right? I use the hand, I walk on the two legs. I got a ear like this, I got an eyes like this, I got a nose like this, and I got a mouth like this, I got a tongue like this, and I look like this. All right? But after that, say if I go and take a body of a donkey, all right, what happened? I now I don't walk on two legs, but I got a four leg, and I don't have a hand. I don't have hands. Right? I only got four legs, no hands. Right? And I got a ear which is protruding up. Okay? And I got a face which is sharp in front. And I got eyes, and I got this thing, and I got a strong backbone that you can put a tons of goods on my back, and I still can climb the mountain. Right? Then after that, I give up that body and I go to another body. Right? I go into the body of a snake. I don't have a hand, I don't have a leg. I'll be slithering. Okay? And my sense, I got a nose and my sense of touch. And I don't have a ears which is protruding. I only got a hole. All right? So everything changes. So that means with this taking another gross body obtains a certain type of ears, eyes, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. So everything is in the mind. So once you've taken a body of a snake, the mind will modify everything. You'll act as a snake. It's not to say I'm a human being, so I want to try and stand on two legs. You don't have a leg. All right. And through that, he thus enjoys a particular set of sense object. So through that, whatever form of body that he takes, he has some kind of enjoyment in that different types of body according to the sense object. Are you all following me on this? Any question? Okay. So, in other words, if the living entity adulterates his consciousness, adulterate means what? He pollutes his consciousness with the qualities of cats and dogs. In his next life, he gets a cat or dog body and enjoy. Bhagavad Gita 15.9 purport. See, a person who loves to eat a lot of meat. Right? Once there's one guy was telling, I'm a strictly meatarian. I was telling I'm a strict vegetarian. Really? I'm a strict meatarian. All right. So these kind of people love to eat meat and all these kind of things. They'll take a form of a carnivore. If a person who loves to eat everything, like the foodies, like the guy who travel all the way just to go and simply eat the thing that flies, the thing that swims, the thing that crawls, everything whack. Okay, he will get a form of a pig. Right? If a person who loves to expose the body, like actresses, right? When you look at actresses, they always like to be on a skimpy dress to look glamorous. Right? They love to attract people through their glamour. Or those who like to strip naked. These kind of people, In next birth, they will take a form of a tree and they stand in that form for millions of years. Okay. So the nudist or the one who loves to strip, especially what they call the actresses and all these things, they are, or the models, supermodel, so-called supermodel, Miss Universe, Miss that, Miss this, right? Such a crazy thing, actually, if you really think about it, right? What is that Miss Universe? What is it so great? They try to show their body as maximum as they can, all right? So they have to be very revealing and they have to be very intelligent. And every time they say, I would like to bring a different, I would like to help the child. I want to be the person who going to bring end to famine. I make sure that people around my area will not go into hunger. Then after that, show their body. I don't understand what is that concept. It's bogus. So these kind of people will take the form of a tree. And the one who are always in ignorant, always love to sleep, eat and sleep, will take the form. So all this accordingly. So when a person adulterates his consciousness, he pollutes his consciousness, he will take the form according to the consciousness that what he likes. Right? See, once you fall down into this certain kind of animal, you have to evolve one by one, one by one. But once you come to the human form, you have a choice. What is going to be the next destination? All right, you can purify your consciousness and you can go back home, back to Godhead, or you can pollute that consciousness. Okay, depends what you like. Oh, I love dogs. I love dogs. Yes. So when a person dies, he will take the form of a dog. That means after he fall down, he start from dog upwards, which is not worth it. Right. So when you look at this like that, it goes from the aquatics, it goes into all kind of form, birds and all these things, and you get a form of human being. He miss it, he fall back again, and he goes around and around. 12 and 13. Ya adityagatam tejo jagat basayate kilam ya chandramasi ya chaknau tat tejo vidimamakam gam avishya cha bhutani darayamyaham ojasa pushnami chaushadi sarva somo bhutva rasatmaka. The splendor of the sun, all right, the splendor of the sun which dissipate the darkness of this whole world. When the sun rises, the half of the world is in light. So dissipate means it completely gone. All right. So the darkness of the world, the splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world. Krishna says, come from me. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. I enter into each planet. Krishna says, I enter into each planet. And by my energy, they stay in orbit. Imagine, he was talking about this 5,000 years ago, how the whole planetary system is floating in orbit. Right? He says that my energy, and by my energy, everything stays in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice to all vegetables. Right? When the moon rises, you see all the flowers and all the vegetables start to flourish. And 15:14, Krishna says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita Pranapana Samayukta Pachamyanam Chaturvidam. I am the fire of digestion. So the one digests in your stomach, he said, I am the fire. Okay. In the bodies of all living entities. And I join with the air of life. Outgoing and incoming. You're breathing, outgoing and I join with the air of life to digest the 4 kind of foodstuff. Okay. And 15:15, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hirdi sanivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarvir aham eva vedyo vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart. And from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So that means if you are inquiring about this knowledge about Krishna, so that means it's all act of God. So that means some or other Krishna is paying attention to you. Okay. So I'm seated in everyone's heart, Krishna says, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and also forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. So, like what happened when I was telling the story about Vyasadeva who compiled all the things, Vedanta Sutra, and it looks like he was not happy. That's why the spiritual master Narada Muni told Vyasadeva, you have not gone into the point. What is that essence of Vedas? You have not spoken about that supreme personality of Godhead. Because here it says, right? Vedescha sarvir aham. Vedas, all the Vedas, cha, sarvir, everything, aham, me, evam, vedyu. Vedanta krit veda vit eva chaham. So I have to be known. So you have not spoken about the Lord. That's when Vyasadeva gave a summary of the summary. Vedanta Sutra is a summary of all the Vedas. And he took that summary, he summarized further. So it's the cream of the cream. And that summarized version of that summary is called Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a summary of that Vedanta Sutra, which is already a summary of all the Vedas. All right. So that's it. So there's Krishna says, by all Vedas, I have to be known. I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of Vedas. 18. Yasmat sharam atitoham aksharat apichotama atosmi loke vedecha pratita purushottama. Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the supreme person. So Krishna says here, because I am transcendental, I am spiritual, beyond both fallible and infallible, understanding and beyond understanding. Right? Beyond all conception. And because I am the greatest, Aksharat Apichot, Atosmi Loke Vedecha. Right? Because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in this world and the Vedas as the supreme person. Pratita Purushottama, the supreme enjoyer, the supreme person. All right. So I'm celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas. 19. Yo mam eva asammudo janati purushottamam sa sarvavit bhajati mang sarva bhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the supreme personality of Godhead. Now let's look at this verse. Whoever, Krishna is giving an open declaration. Whoever knows me as the supreme personality of Godhead, without doubting, he is the knower of everything. So, my dear Prabhus and mothers, if you know, if you do not doubt that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna himself have said that you are the knower of everything. That is the conclusion of the Vedas, to know the Lord. But if you know that, you consider you have perfected your understanding of the Vedas. And he therefore engage himself. After knowing that, he engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. So once he understands that, he engage in full devotional service. What is that full devotional service? What is that full devotional service? The work that you do, you engage to Krishna. I am going to work so that I can make money. Why I need that money? So that I can serve Krishna. I can distribute Bhagavad Gita. I can encourage someone to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. I can go an extra mile. I can pour petrol and go on some extra mile to meet someone and encourage them. Please study the Gita. Right? So that I can make some money, so that I can buy some vegetables and I cook and I can offer to Krishna to please him. I need to eat. But from me, my desire, I rather fulfill Krishna's desire. Right? And how am I supposed to know what Krishna likes? What you are inspired in your heart. All right? Just like the example that I gave that day, right? Sometimes you go to the supermarket, suddenly you see some nice fruit. Right? We all have to eat fruit. But suddenly you see that fruit, wow, that fruit looks so unique and beautiful. Krishna will love it. Right? Just like there is so many flowers around. But suddenly when you go for a walk with your child, when you walk in the field, there'll be a grass and there'll be a flower that comes from that grass. Okay. So how do the child satisfy the father? Right? How the daughter satisfy the father? Like what my daughter used to do that. I remember that. When we walk on the thing, suddenly my daughter will just pluck on flower. I said, Father, Daddy, this is for you. That gives me so much of satisfaction. Not someone who gives me a very expensive, what they call rose or any kind of fragrant flower. So simply what inspires my child, that same way that Krishna will inspire you. When you take something and says, my dear Krishna, I got this for you. Krishna will love you for that. Huh? Then after that, what do? You are working. So what you'll do, you'll never over endeavor. Why I should over endeavor? Why I should work some extra hours? My quota is 8 hours. And maybe my boss require me to work extra 2-3 hours. That's it. Cut it off. Don't go on working for days and nights and days and nights. So now you have knowledge, you have intelligence. All right. I have to work and I don't expect any result from the job because I dedicate everything to Krishna. Good or bad, Krishna, it's yours. So once you finish your duty, you come back and after that you engage your mind, your intelligence in chanting Hare Krishna, reading the Bhagavad Gita and start to delve deep into the teachings of Krishna. Okay. So like that. So that means like that you are engaging fully in devotional service. You no longer watch Netflix. You rather watch some lectures. You rather watch some glorification about Krishna. All right. You will never engage in going for a party, but you rather come to Sunday for party in Hare Krishna temple. In every Sunday, in every center, there's a party. They call Sunday Love Feast. You come there, you dance, you express yourself, and you eat to the maximum up to your throat. Nobody going to say, why are you eating like this? Nobody going to say, stop eating. No. Free flow. Highly nutritious, highly distinct. Sometimes we don't even do that in our house. Right? I love to cook, but the problem is I am always busy in my job. So why not express myself to Krishna on Sunday? So every Sunday you come, you say, well, I think I'm good in making this thing. Can I do it? The devotees you definitely say, yes, go ahead. So you just cook something and you just satisfy the Lord. You know, dear Krishna, this is the dish that always I was thinking I want to cook for you. But today I'm so grateful to you for giving me this opportunity. So what happened? You are becoming more and more Krishna conscious. You are becoming more and more attached because you don't doubt it. Because Krishna reciprocating with you. Right? So when you doubt is the biggest killer, right? You don't doubt your wife. You don't doubt your husband. You don't doubt your children. If you doubt, that's it, gone. All right? But now that's a problem in this modern world. We are doubting everything. We doubt ourselves. Am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right path? Am I living in the right country? Doubting. So Krishna says, don't doubt it. He says, whoever, he opened it, yo mam evam asammudo. He gave a very open statement. Whoever, he's not saying any devotee. He didn't say any devotee. He didn't say whether you should be Indian. He didn't say that you are in particular. No, he said whoever, even a hardcore barbarian. Right? If you don't doubt Krishna, he's constantly he knows everything. And after you understand that, you start to engage yourself in devotional service. Sometimes people say, hey, all this looks like my life going to be very boring. No, your life going to be very exciting. All right. I've been in this for last 31 years. Not even once I felt bored. Can you imagine every Sunday we're having party? Huh? In which place you can have such party? Huh? You have your birthday party once in a blue moon, once in a year. then your friend will call you for a party. If you have 5 friends, you're having 5 party. That's it. Huh? And you want to go for party, you have to fork out money. All right. Sometimes you don't have money, you just say, oh, I'm having headache, I cannot come. Or you just say, oh, I'm fasting on this day. No, today is vegetarian, I cannot come and join you. All right. Sometimes when many people come and give you a wedding invitation, they used to grumble. Oh my God, this month I got 10 wedding invitation. Oh my God. And we just open up all our old books. Wow, this will give ang pao 10 ringgit, this will give 100 ringgit, this will give 200 ringgit. Krishna, how am I supposed to do that? Huh? Yes or not? 10 wedding. Each wedding, if I put 100,000 gone la this month, my God. So there's always a lamentation and frustration. But here, there's no such thing. Here we come, we get together, we just chant, we just sing, we express ourselves, and we are transcendentally situated. Okay. 20, the last verse. Iti guhya tamang shastram idam uktang maya naga etad buddva buddhiman syat krita krityascha bharata. Krishna says this, oh my God, it's a goosebump, I'm telling you, 15.2. Oh. Iti guhya. Guhya means what? Secret. Iti means this secret. Tamam sastram is hidden in the sastras, in the books. Idam uktam maya naga etat buddhva buddhiman eva buddhva. I mean, among the intelligent, buddhiman, very intelligent. Syat krita krityascha bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scripture. What you have heard in chapter 15, it is the most confidential part of the Vedic scripture. Okay? Oh, sinless one. And it is disclosed now by me. And it's disclosed now by me. Right? He said, I reveal it. And after that, he continues, whoever understands, etat buddhva, this will become wise. He become buddhiman. All right? In Tamil, we call buddhisali. In the Sanskrit, we call buddhiman. So that means whoever understands this will become wise. And his endeavor, krita, krityascha. So his endeavors will know perfection. If you only understand this, all your endeavor is not specific endeavor. He says all his endeavors. Your endeavor as a duty as a father, your endeavor as a mother, your endeavor as whatever job that you are involved in, your endeavor, every endeavor, your work, everything will know perfection. Everything will become perfect. All right. That is chapter 15. So that's the Srimad Bhagavatam. Today, I'm so happy to deliver a set to Rajalakshmi. Right. The book was sponsored by a very good person. So the book has been distributed. So like that, those who don't have a Srimad Bhagavatam, you can purchase. It is a complete set, A to Z about this thing. So it's a summary of the Vedic literature. All right. So take the RDC formula. It is very, very important. When you simply perform your reading, distributing, and chanting, you start to see all your things will become perfect. All right. So with that, we end the session here. But before we end the session, I would like to play a video. Please stay. I need to off my recording. So Krishna wants us back. That is why he created this Bhagavad Gita. I hope today the message is not so heavy, because I have to speak and I have to express according to what I have heard from my spiritual master and also from Srila Prabhupada and also entire Guru Parampara. Any questions? Any takeaway? Any reflection? Anything you learned something new? All of you are mesmerized, confused. Hello? Anybody home?
Shocked.
Shocked.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for the session today. Is something like you walk us into a twilight zone. You have to get the twilight truth. So today is yeah, like you said, mesmerized. Yes.
Mesmerized.
You just get into a certain zone.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna.
That's very nice. Hare Krishna. And message, Sarinta Kosidu. Good message. Attachment takes time to detach. Takes time to yes. It's good, Prabhu, not too heavy. Interesting part was about the black magic. No more fear after this. Yes, exactly. Exactly. To live life fearless, it is something which is unbelievable feeling, that you do not fear anything. Haribol. Yes. Still thinking about the tree reflection. I see. Yes. So, what do you think, Rajalashmi?
No, Prabhu, I'm thinking about the illusion, about the real tree and the reflection of the tree.
Yes. So now we all understand we are all upside down. We are living in that tree of illusion. We are all there. So the tree, it is in the tree, and in the tree there's a lot of branches. So we jump from one branch to another branch by one birth, another birth. We are keep taking and taking and taking and taking, right? We are thinking that is the fact. That is because the see, Krishna is perfect. Even this illusion looks perfect, right? Okay. Any other feedback? Any other reflection? Not the tree reflection. I'm talking about your life reflection. Any new ideas that you got? Like what Krishna Rubini says, fearless is something which is very beautiful, because that was a topic that I've been talking this whole day, being fearless. There's no anxiety, right? We know if anything happens, everything Krishna decides. Even the death comes, also Krishna decides. So we have no fear because we have surrendered. We have understood chapter 15. So please study. It's only 20 verses. Chapter 15 is a powerful chapter because that's what Krishna says, right? That is the secret hidden in the Vedic literature. And one who knows this, he knows everything. All right. Okay. So since there's no question, we end the session here. Tomorrow we continue with chapter 16. Chapter 16 is going to be chapter 16. 16. The divine and the demonic nature. How to determine a person who have divine quality and what are the people who have that demoniac quality. All right. So Krishna will be explaining. Then Wednesday we'll discuss. So today is 15. Today is Monday. Tuesday is going to be chapter 16. Wednesday is going to be chapter 17. Thursday is a break. Our Ipo Namahat Center. And chapter 18, Friday, is the conclusion. Okay. Thank God it comes on Friday. So it's going to be, that means we are coming to the end of Bhagavad Gita. And of course, once we are done, don't think, oh, I have done it done. No. I'm just speaking on the summary. You have to take it up and read it and study it very thoroughly, because Bhagavad Gita is like a well. It's just like, it's like a very deep well. You dive in, you cannot go and look into the things that you are, whatever mood that you are in, whatever things, Krishna will reveal it. It's very amazing. I've been doing this for so many times, and every time I'm always like awe-stricken. How come I didn't know this? How come I didn't notice this? Right? I've got a devotee friends who are like, even like spiritual, or they've been studying Bhagavad Gita for what, 40, 50, 60 years, 50 years. And yet they cannot put down the book because he's keep revealing something new. All right. It's never ending. Okay. So please take the RDC formula. I hope that you all are chanting Hare Krishna. It's very important to chant Hare Krishna and take things. Prabhupada always say, take things gradually. We don't straight away transform into we don't become a transformer. We take it slow. Right. Step 1, RDC formula, read the Gita and chant Hare Krishna. And through that knowledge, through that conviction, right, you start to detach one by one. Not straight away go back. Okay, from now onwards, I'm detached from everything. You're faking it. Take time. With that, thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubevacha Paditanam pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhayo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Good night. Have a beautiful
Hare
day.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Gauranga.